Kaleidoscioe, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast today. The Cleveland Division of Recreation is gearing up for the summer months. Commissioner Kim Johnson and Manager of Recreation Tim Wells is here today, and they're going to explain what Cleveland can expect this summer. Then later on, Nellie Krumloff and Dr. Irene Kesters will talk about an organization established to help kids who've been diagnosed with cancer. And on the broadcast after that, the president of the Cleveland branch of the NAACP, James Hardiman, and the interim executive director, Arlene Anderson, will be here to talk about changes taking place with the NAACP in Cleveland. Good morning again. I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope, and so we begin. Beginning right now with Kim Johnson, Commissioner of the Cleveland Division of Recreation, and Tim Wells, who's a Manager of Recreation with the Cleveland Division of Recreation. Good to have you both with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Kim, let's begin with you. As the summer approaches, what does the Division of Recreation start thinking about, especially for the children?
Well, Leon, first of all, thank you for allowing us to come here and spread the word, let kids know what's going on for the summer. But the first thing that comes to mind is outdoor pools. We have 21 outdoor pools and 19 indoor pools, and when it's summertime and it's hot outside, the first thing that kids want to do is swim.
So we want to keep it going.
Yes, we do. And on June 16th at noon, we will open up all of our pools for the summer.
How many pools once again?
21 outdoor pools and 19 indoor pools. So we have a place for everyone.
Everybody ought to be able to find a little piece of water.
That's right.
Okay. We also have Tim Wells, who's a Manager of Recreation. What's the Manager of Recreation do?
Well, one of the things that I focus on is trying to get the kids ready for sports. You know, and obviously summer, Indians, it's baseball time. We offer baseball for kids from the ages of all the way from 4 up through 19, totally free. We also have girls fast pitch. We have co-ed softball. Again, all those programs are totally free. And right now, a lot of the kids that are playing their school ball are finishing up. They can play in the summer, and again, they can just register at all their local rec centers.
Now, where is that? Would they go to the recreation centers in Cleveland to register to play ball?
That's correct.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this now?
Well, I actually been with the city about 40 years now. You know, I was in this position for about 15 of those years. And the one thing that's really great about Cleveland, and I have to say this because Cleveland's got such a big heart. We got so many great volunteers out there that are impacting our kids' lives, and they really have made a big difference in helping the kids. Well,
thank you for what you do. Commissioner Kim Johnson, what do you have to keep in mind as you run the Cleveland Division of Recreation out of City Hall? What's uppermost in your mind?
Well, uppermost in my mind is providing a place, a safe place for kids to come and recreate. And then once they get there, we want them to have fun. We want parents to feel free that when their kids come to any of our recreation centers or our pools or the 26 staff playgrounds that we'll have during the summer, that they can feel free that their kids are going to come, they're going to be safe, and they're going to have a good time.
And you've got playgrounds speckled around the city in different
26
schools.
Playgrounds all across the city. They're located in our parks, in our city parks.
I grew up in the Glenville area, and the playground across the street at Miles Standish Elementary School, now called Michael White Elementary School, it was where we hung out all day long from noon until 9 o'clock at night, supervised and all that kind of thing.
Exactly.
What do you see on the horizon for you and certainly the sports operation, Tim?
Well, I think that the great thing about the sports that we provide for the kids, other than the fact that it's free, is the thing is we're trying to impact lives here. You know, and we have a lot of support through Cleveland Indian Charities, the Cleveland Baseball Federation, because we try to offer some life skill lessons as well. And we tell our coaches, you know, you're a teacher, but you're not only a teacher of the sport, you're a teacher of life. And the thing that makes me feel good is once we roll into the next sport, we see the development. And a lot of these kids that grow up, Leon, they come back and they volunteer and they give back to the younger kids.
Let me put a phone number on the screen where you can get more information on everything we were talking about. You can 664-2561. That's in the 216 area code, and you can get more information on everything we've been talking about. What's the philosophy of the of City Hall regarding recreation, especially as it looks at the young kids of Cleveland?
Well, Mayor Jackson believes in recreation. He grew up, our director, Michael Cox, is a product of recreation. And so they know how much of an impact that it has on young people's lives. Because what we have in our rec centers and the different facilities that we have is we have people who serve as role models. And these children are coming in every day and they have an opportunity to impact the lives of children. So we want people, we want young people particularly, rather than being left to their own devices, out to have a place where they can go and participate in good, fun activities and be around good role models that are going to impact their lives in a different kind of way.
This is with supervision, City Hall-oriented supervision, people who are trained to handle all these kinds of things. Absolutely. So the kids are just not thrown out there with a baseball or a softball. They're out there and they've got some leadership along the way, right, Tim?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so critical today that, you know, I kind of look at it this way, and especially at my age, I say, hey, they're going to run the show here pretty soon, you know, so we better get them ready and help them, because they're going to be handling everything.
We thank you for your 40 years of all that you have done regarding recreation here in the city of Cleveland, and we thank you. You haven't done 40 years yet, but,
not 40.
But we thank you for what you do as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Johnson, who's Commissioner of the Cleveland Division of Recreation, and Tim Wells, who's a Manager of Recreation with the Cleveland Division of Recreation. Thank you so much for being on the broadcast. And we'll keep the kids having fun, but in a safe way and a supervised way.
That's correct.
All summer long.
That's right.
That's what it's about. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. We're going to talk with an organization that helps kids diagnosed with cancer. But first, this. Good to have you with us, and welcome back to Kaleidoscope. The president and founder of a group called Nellie's Catwalk for Kids is here. Nellie Krumloff, and the board president of that organization, Dr. Irene Kesters, is here with us to share the mission of the organization geared to children diagnosed with cancer. Nellie Krumloff, president and founder, sitting next to me. Dr. Kesters sitting on the outside there. Tell me about Nellie's Catwalk for Kids. Specifically, what does this organization do?
Sure. Our mission is very simple. We're many hearts for one simple cause, pediatric cancer. And with that, we help the needs of pediatric cancer families all throughout their journey. So from the minute a child is diagnosed to the very end and beyond that, we are there to help them 365 days a year with financial and emotional needs. So anything from putting gas in their tank to food on their table and smiles on their faces.
You help the kids, you help the families as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you founded this.
I did when I was 16 years old, believe it or not.
That's only a handful of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
My grandma was diagnosed with cancer when I was 7. Prior to that, we were the best of friends.
Yeah.
We did everything together, and what I looked up to her the most is she was the most fashionable lady I've ever known, always dressed to the nines, even when we were going to the grocery store. So I would always put on many fashion shows for her in her living room. We're
going to come back to that in just a moment. Doctor, we want to bring in Dr. Irene Kesters, who's the board president. Your involvement in this, you're a pediatrician. What got you involved in this?
Pediatric cancer has been near and dear to my heart since I was a little girl. When I went through my residency training in Columbus, I lost several patients to cancer and always wanted to do something to help. I went to one fashion show about 3 years ago and saw what Nellie was doing for these families and wanted to be more involved.
Yeah, I'm going to get a shot of this picture here because you made a reference to your grandmother, right? And this is you and your grandmother, right? And she was one of your inspirations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for you to establish Nellie's Catwalk for Kids. That's beautiful. And we're going to put some more pictures up in just a moment. But I want to go back to Dr. Kesters. What's the most common form of childhood cancers?
Most common forms are the leukemias, lymphomas, and brain tumors. The one thing that strikes me about pediatric cancer, because I see a lot of things in my daily practice, the one thing that strikes me about pediatric cancer is that it can really hit quite suddenly, and it's devastating to families. Kids can go straight from the soccer field to the web of cancer and cancer treatments overnight. Yeah. And it changes them. It steals part of their childhood, and it it leaves a big burden on families.
Nellie Kromloff, you started this organization in Columbus, and now you have expanded, and you're headquartered in Columbus right now.
We are.
Yeah, and you started this organization, and now you've come to Cleveland. And tell me how that is going, and as we look at some of the pictures that you brought along with you.
Absolutely. We've been established in Columbus for 6 years now, and the main reason of going national and to Cleveland is because there's a huge need for not only awareness for pediatric cancer, but these families are faced with financial burdens that there's lots of needs out there for them, and so there's a lack of resources. So being here in Cleveland, we want the community just to open up their arms and really see the need for these families. And so we have 2 volunteer branch managers here in Cleveland that we already are establishing a fashion show for 2013, and we are partnering with local hospitals and Rainbow Babies and Ronald McDonald House to really see what needs are out there for these families.
Dr. Kester, how do these fashion shows work? What happens at the fashion shows?
The fashion shows are amazing in that any child of any age, any size, shape, or form can be a star for a night, and they participate because they all share the love for these families and want to help these families whose children are affected by cancer. And so it empowers teenagers and young kids to feel good about themselves, to be part of something bigger. It's very philanthropic. Many communities and business partners are involved, and it's just a great event.
Let me put a phone number on the screen where people can get more information on what we're talking about. 800-859-9183. That's a toll-free call, by the way. 800-859-9183. Or you can go to nc4k.com. nc4k.com. Nellie's Catwalk for Kids. You obviously are Nellie.
Yes.
And the Catwalk obviously makes reference to the fashion shows.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why do you think this is so vital to have the fashion shows? And you've got one coming up, by the way, in 2013.
Yes.
And we'll have you back to talk about that at Beechwood Mall here in Greater Cleveland area. Why do you think this is so vital?
The fashion shows, there's a need to give an outlet to kids and teens and young adults to make that difference, and we want to showcase that it can be fun to make a difference. And so the kids are the stars, like Irene said. They get their hair and makeup done, they get to keep their outfit, and it's just a great way. Our fashion show in Columbus has over 3,500 people come out to it, and it's a great outlet to share our awareness and what we're doing and to really build this platform for childhood cancer that is so well deserved.
Helps the families as well with us. This is really supporting the families as well, right, Doctor?
Right. It's alleviating the emotional, physical burden that they have. Families accrue a lot of distress and devastation during this time. Childhood cancer is under-recognized. There are just as many forms of childhood cancer as there are in adult cancer, and adult cancers all receive different, various and specific recognition, and childhood cancer as a whole does not receive enough recognition or funding, and the funding that is received is mainly for research. But what Nellie's Catwalk for Kids does is use that money to help alleviate more of their immediate needs during the time of suffering. I will say welcome to Cleveland. Glad to have Nellie's Catwalk for Kids in this city as well.
Thank you.
We'll put that phone number up once again, 800-859-9183, or go to the website nc4k.com. You can get more information on everything we're talking about. Thank you so much, Nellie Kromloff. Good to have you with us, founder and president of Nellie's Catwalk for Kid, and Dr. Irene Kesters, who's on the board as the president. Thank you so much. Good to have you on the broadcast. I'll take a break. I'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome back to Kaleidoscope. Good to have you with us today. The Cleveland branch of the NAACP is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. The president, James Hardiman, is here, and the interim executive director, Arlene Anderson, is here to talk about the significant milestones and about the changes taking place with the organization. Good to have you with us, Arlene Anderson, the executive director, the interim executive director.
Interim for a very short time.
Just for a short time, because we needed an executive director there.
That's correct.
Here in the Cleveland NAACP.
That's correct, and we're currently searching for a new executive director as we speak. And so I would encourage anyone who's interested in that position to please, by all means, submit their resume.
Because you're letting everybody know it's interim.
That's right, exactly.
James Hardiman, longtime involved in NAACP events and functions here in Cleveland, is now the president. Kind of ended up being the president when George Forbes said that he was no longer going to seek that office after all those years.
Yeah, this is my third go-round. I was president on 2 prior occasions, and I was serving as vice president when George Forbes, after about 20 years in that office, decided that the day-to-day grind was a little much, and so we accepted his resignation, and I was elevated to the position of president.
But you've been out there for a long time, dealing with these issues.
An awfully long time, starting back in the 60s up until today.
Yeah, you were part of the Cleveland school desegregation case of the 1970s?
I filed the Cleveland school desegregation case in 1973, and even before that, I filed a case against the city of Cleveland for their failure to hire and retain African Americans in safety forces. So, yeah, I have a little bit of a history.
So Arlene Anderson, as the interim executive director, when you have stepped away from your regular job for this position, I guess you're still holding on to your other job.
I am.
Yeah, which is?
Which is president and CEO of Minority Business Solutions. And so what we do for the NAACP is volunteer. And so I do this on my part-time.
You have on your right shoulder right there a man who's got 40 years in this business with the NAACP. I would imagine you lean quite heavily on him, or you lean on his shoulder for his experience and his expertise.
I do. Yeah. I do every day. I look to our leadership to help guide us through our transition, and I know that it's a smooth transition, and we just look forward to continuing to build the NAACP.
What is your vision for the future with the NAACP?
You know, my immediate vision really is to increase our membership. We are working closely with a lot of young professionals and just, you know, activists, community activists, to get our membership up and get people involved in the NAACP. We're very fortunate because our Cleveland branch is only one of 5 branches in the country that actually has an NAACP office with staff, with an executive director. And so we would like to make sure that we continue that momentum.
NAACP in Cleveland, located right there on Stokes Boulevard.
That's correct.
On the east side of Cleveland. Your significant accomplishments, there have been so many over the years. What stands out in your mind, James Hardiman?
Well, I guess the big thing is I'm still standing after all these years. Obviously, developing a plan by which the safety forces in the city of Cleveland could be integrated, the school desegregation effort, and just being a part of the NAACP and giving back to the community. I can remember a long time ago when I graduated from college, we were in the midst of a civil rights revolution. Since that time, we've made a lot of progress, and the more progress we've made, the more I realize that we've still got a long way to go.
About 100 years the NAACP has been located here.
Well, unfortunately, I was not around all those 100 years.
No, I'm not saying you were here, but the organization's been here, right?
Actually, the national NAACP has been in existence since 1908, so that's 104 years. The Cleveland branch has been in existence since 1912, so this year we celebrate our 100th anniversary.
How do you plan to commemorate that 100th anniversary?
Well, we have our Freedom Fund Dinner that's coming up on Saturday, September 8th at the Cleveland Renaissance Hotel, and so we're really looking forward to that. We will highlight and reward a lot of people who have worked hard in this struggle over the years. We'd like to highlight them this year.
Always a big event. I am often in the audience. They're always a big event. Where do you see the organization going in the next 100 years? There is still need for the NAACP.
There's a great need for the NAACP, and you know, we will continue to do the basic things that we've always done. That's voter registration and to help with discrimination. Those things don't change; those are ongoing. But we will look into doing some other programming as we move forward. Okay.
Still continuing to fight the battles, right, James Hardiman?
Fighting the good fight.
Yeah, fighting the good fight, as you have said for many years, and it's good to have you on the broadcast. Good to see you. This man really is a slice of history here, because you were very much involved with the desegregation of Cleveland schools, filing that paperwork many years ago. Thanks for being on the broadcast. Let me put a phone number on the screen if those are looking for information to join the NAACP. 231-6260 in the 216 area code, or you can go to clevelandnaacp.org and find out more information about the wonderful organization, the Cleveland branch of the NAACP. Good to have you with us. Arlene Anderson, the interim executive director, and James Hardiman, the new president of the NAACP. Third time around, though.
Third go round.
Good to have you with us. I'm going to take a break in just a moment. We'll come back with Dorothea Santiago of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland after this. One of our partners on this broadcast is the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, and with us today is Dorothea Santiago, who's Director of Employment Services for the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. Hey, Dorothea.
Good morning, Leon. How are you today?
I'm okay, hanging in there, doing well.
Good. Just wanted to provide the voters today with a little bit of, not only voters, but like to provide everyone today with voting information regarding our upcoming election in November 6th.
Yeah.
As you know, the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, we have partnered with the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections to help inform, educate, and also register individuals in our community for the upcoming election. Starting early September, all voters will receive automatically a vote by mail application automatically. That will be in early September. However, you don't have to wait until September. You can go now online to the county's website and download that application.
You can download this one right here, which I'm holding up.
Right.
We're going to get this in the mail anyway.
Yes. And
if you're registered to vote.
Yes, and you can also call the number and they'll mail you out one. And that will be right now. You can do that. And October 2nd is when the Board of Elections will begin mailing the actual ballots to everyone that's requested one. That's October 2nd. Also, October 2nd begins early voting. Anyone that wants to beat the rush, they can go in person starting October 2nd at the Board of Elections, and that's Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30.
And we're talking about Cuyahoga County right now.
That's Cuyahoga County.
Everything is about Cuyahoga County right now.
Yes,
There's a phone number we got on the screen. This is to the Board of Elections, 216-443-3298, or you can go to the website, which is boe.cuyahogacounty.us. You can get more information on everything that we're talking about.
And I'd also like to add quickly that it's not too late to register to vote. You can download a voter registration application online. You can go in person. The Urban League of Greater Cleveland, we have them available as well. The deadline to register, October 9th.
We've got it all there.
October 9th is the deadline.
Thank you.
Right.
Gotta go. Bye-bye.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.